egg, cheese, rice, and some of that beef from last night from the Korean beef bowl. It's a good little breakfast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday. Nintendo Direct today. They always announce them with, like, very little warning. Was it yesterday that they told us? I think
so. Mm-hmm.
So we got up this morning and watched it. I say we got up this morning. I mean, we were going to be up anyway. But we watched it, and man, it's really good. It's really, really good. At this point, I know this vlog will be out in a bit, so I'm going to assume that you've seen it. If not, here's your chance to like go watch it, because I'm about to talk about it. You're still here. Okay. I screamed.
Kepler.
I did scare Kepler, but in fairness,
You were excited.
I was excited. Mm-hmm. Mario RPG remake. That's something I didn't really see coming. It was only recently that I realized Mario RPG wasn't on NSO, and I was like, dang, guess they'll get around to that at some point. And now I'm realizing that, no, they're not going to get around to it. They're just going to sell you a remake. Mm-hmm. But I'm more than willing to pay for it. I think the thing that sucks is that it wasn't really all that long ago that we played it. I mean, it's been a while, right? It's been like, I think 5 years. I think it was 2018 that we went through Mario RPG. I might be wrong. Maybe it was more recently than that. I don't remember. I just don't remember. But Mal and I streamed it. And yeah, I see that remake and I'm like, oh, I just want to play that remake now. You know, it looks very, very good. Another person who shares the same love of Mario RPG as I do is Haley. So after the Direct, I was like, I'm pretty sure she didn't watch the Direct. So I just sent her a message and I was like, hey, I don't know if you saw the Nintendo Direct, but something in it is relevant to your interests. And then she texted back and was just like, ah. So I know that she'll be excited to get a chance to play that at some point too. It does give me a lot of hope for other remakes for games of that era. To be honest, and I've said it before, I'd love to see the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, the Super Nintendo trilogy, re-released looking more like Tropical Freeze in Returns, getting that sort of like fully 3D realization. I think that'd be really, really cool. Obviously, if they ever did anything with Earthbound, I would be so excited. But there's other games on the platform too. I mean, people have long pined for like a Chrono Trigger remake of some sort, and I think that'd be great too. There's a lot of good games from that era to pull from, and it's clear that Nintendo is interested in doing some of that stuff. So, yeah, it's cool. Very, very excited. All right, I'm gonna eat this food before it gets cold. How was your food? Was it good? You're cute. You're super cute. You know what else is cute? Zucchini bread. I guess the zucchini muffins, technically. So today, I've been busy with all sorts of things. Mal decided that she was going to turn all of those zucchinis, because there's been quite a few zucchinis coming out of the garden, that she was going to turn them into zucchini bread, and more specifically muffins. I don't know if she took my suggestion or if she was just also feeling this. I feel like muffins are maybe a little bit better than bread. And that's just because then they're a unit. It's like, I want 1 unit of zucchini bread, and it's already in convenient units. So I was like, you should maybe do that. And she's like, okay. And there's 2 different kinds here. And Mal was telling me a little bit about it. Something, she was working on the recipe, and she had 2 different recipes, and then she was following one recipe, but then glanced at the other recipe or something. I don't know. It was something about like she used baking powder instead of soda or vice versa. And then she was like, oh crap, and then had to switch over to a different recipe in order to like finish them. Something like that. Anyway, she said they ended up turning out okay. But there's like 2 versions. I don't know. But I wanted to try one. Those are good. I mean, they're a little dense, maybe a little like on the chewy side, but overall good. Yeah, especially if like Mao had to salvage a recipe or something. These turned out remarkably good. My assumption is that the ones that are bigger maybe was the first batch, and then she did the next batch and it was like as she intended. But these are still really good. The last thing I'm doing today is swapping out the lights that I use for solo streams. These lights over here have been in use for, honestly, many, many years. We used them obviously for solo streams at, well, not the last house because I didn't do any, but the house before. And these were also the lights that I used for Grandpa's Game Garage and also for Morning Mario, once Morning Mario had face cam. So these lights have gotten like a lot of use. Actually, I guess Morning Mario started without having these lights. I think originally I just had like one light coming from the side. Early Morning Mario, at least early Morning Mario that had the face cam, didn't look super great. It got better, but it didn't look super great. But eventually I started using these lights, and these lights are just like no-name lights. I think the brand is Dasny, and there's a lot of things that are not super great about them. They get pretty bright. That's not really a problem, and they're bicolor, so you can actually decide what color temperature you want. I never had soft boxes for them, so you can see I just had fabric laid over them for diffusion, which, by the way, is fine for folks that are just like starting out and want to do things, as cheap as possible. I really recommend that. You should diffuse lights generally, depending on what you're doing. And you can just get cheap fabric and put it on top of a light and it'll diffuse it. Like there's not like a lot of fancy stuff there. That will diffuse the light. But the lights had their own set of problems. For one, the lights were not super high quality. I'm not going to go into the specifics of this, but like the quality of light that they give off is subpar. And I can't begin to go down the road of like what quality of light means and how it affects your image, but it does. But the other thing that's kind of a bigger problem for me is that the lights have glitches where like occasionally the lights will just dim. I don't know why. I don't know if they just like got overheated or something, but every once in a while, and it doesn't seem to be any particular length of time, the lights will just like lower their power from 100% to like 65%. And it's a little weird and jarring, and it has happened on videos and it has happened on streams in a way that is like not great. So what I'm doing today is I'm getting rid of I'm not getting rid of them, but I'm removing them from this position, and I am replacing them with higher quality lights. These are the Amaran P60Xs. Amaran is the budget version of the aperture lights. And as far as I can tell, the lights themselves are the same, but the build material of the enclosure for the light is different. So if you're looking for like high quality lights that are on the cheaper side, like Amaran is a really good brand to go with. We bought our first Amaran lights for tabletop, and they're real good. And I told myself that if I had to replace any other lights, I'd probably get Amaran lights. And again, aperture lights are great, but they're really expensive, and really, it's not worth it for me. Aperture lights would be better if we had to move stuff around a lot, or if they needed to be like weather sealed or something like that. The Amaran lights are they're quite good, so I've just been going with them. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these out to be those, and then I'm going to move these, I think, down, because one of the things that I ran into when I did the solo stream last week, and the reason I got lights otherwise, is that I haven't lit the green screen very well. So I had a pretty bad issue where like the top of the green screen was lit, but the bottom wasn't. And in retrospect, that makes perfect sense because anytime I did solo streams or Morning Mario or whatever, I actually used 4 lights. I had 2 lights at my desk, these ones, but then I also had 2 other studio lights that were lighting the green screen, which is typically how you're supposed to do chroma key. So that's what I need to do in order to make that look good. So instead, I'm going to put the nicer lights on my face, and I'm going to take these cheaper lights and move them to the floor or under the desk or something. I have to figure that out. And try to light the bottom of the green screen, which is the problem. So, yeah, I don't have as much room in here for that sort of thing. Like, I don't know if I have room, but I don't want to have like 2 big studio lights here. Like, I don't want to do that. So I'm hoping I can get away with just doing things this way. So we'll see. I did briefly consider the Elgato lights, but the Amaran lights are better lights. Like, it's a better quality light. They're brighter. And they're cheaper, and I was like, I think I'm going to go with these because the Amaran lights, at least in the future, could be repurposed to a studio light somewhere, and it would be very hard to do that with the Elgato light because it's designed to work as a Wi-Fi light in the Elgato ecosystem. So even though that would probably be a perfect fit for me, I was like, I'm going to use these. So these also have softboxes on them, so I'm going to get these all assembled, and hopefully this will look very different in just a moment. So I got one light set up, and it comes with a really nice carrying case, which is pretty cool. It obviously holds the light itself, but then also the power adapter, and then it comes with another little pouch that holds the softbox, and I don't know if the grid would fit in there as well, but it comes with a grid. I don't know if I'll be using that or not, but I might try it. Okay, let me get this thing turned on. Here we go. And yeah, so this is bright. This is about twice as bright as the Elgato lights, and it is about 3 to 4 times brighter than the lights that I had. Now, do I need lights that bright? I mean, no, I don't need them quite that bright. Although a little bit brighter would have been helpful because I didn't have my camera on the base ISO, and now I can do that. But it obviously, this is only 50% power, so it's extremely bright. So I can turn that up to 100. Oh my god, it's bright. And then obviously there's color temperatures, so I can change it to very warm or over to cool. I think it goes from 3200 to 6500. Cool. And I believe that I had the other lights in the camera set to 5500, so neat. Let me get the other one set up. Well, it's bright. It's real bright. I'm sure I'll end up turning them down from here because these are at max brightness. As far as mounting them goes, the Dasny lights had a thing built into them that allowed them to like swivel, like they can move up and down. And there's nothing built into the aperture lights because it's intended that you'll do whatever it is you're going to do with them. And I have a bag of just camera hardware, and I happen to have and one extra ball head, and then another, I don't know how to describe it, like a double jointed 1/4 inch adapter. So I just used those because they weren't being used anywhere. It's not the most convenient thing to adjust though, so if I may want to get something different to put up there because those things are only like a few bucks, and I could probably do that. The other thing to consider, I guess, if someone's looking at this video and is thinking about things, like the stands that they're on, those are stands that I owned. They're actually monopods with desk clamps, and I have everything like attached, because when I got lights, I tried to do everything, as cheaply as possible. And I still saved money by buying the Dasney lights and doing things myself, as opposed to just buying the Elgato lights. That being said, if you're just doing streaming and you don't need lights for anything else and you don't have any of this stuff, then like the Elgato lights might make a lot more sense, because they actually come with the desk mounts. I already had desk mounts, so like it didn't bother me. I'm really curious to see how well these work. Tomorrow I'm doing another stream, and I will get everything set up with the green screen and everything. I'm not going to do it tonight, but yeah, we'll see how well it lights it even without the other lights. We'll see. And like I said, it comes with grids, which, if you don't know what a grid does, a grid is, well, it looks like a grid. It's like a little like honeycomb thing that goes on the outside of the light, and it makes the light more direct, so it doesn't like spill out everywhere. But I actually may want it to spill out everywhere, because if it lights more of the green screen, then that would be a good thing. So I don't know exactly how they'll look tomorrow, but that's gonna be a tomorrow problem. For now, I at least got these things set up, and I'll try everything out tomorrow. Cool. Neat. I'm at least satisfied with how these look, and I'm crossing my fingers that everything goes well tomorrow. And like, they are bright. Like, this is extremely bright, but I'm also used to lights in my face, so, and they won't be this bright, so cool. You snoring? You're always snoring. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, solo stream, and I guess we'll see exactly how this setup works. Hopefully everything is solved. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?